night, a bar night for leather dykes, queers, trans folks, and women. And they have a weird thing that I wanted to talk about. They have the Queer Hanky Code. So this is something we learn new things every year about what the gay people are up to. And this is a system where you wear a bracelet, and then the color determines what sort of kink you're into. And so if it's worn on the left or it's worn on the right, it means two different things. But, a gray bracelet means latex. A green one means looking for a daddy or looking for a little. A red one means if you're wearing a red bracelet on your left, it means you're a fist fucker. If you wear it on your right, you want to be fist fucked. And if you're wearing a yellow bracelet, it means you wear and drink piss on your right. And if you're wearing it on your left, it means you will piss. They will piss on you. So I'm going to take this bracelet off. I had no idea who sent these to the P.O. box or what happened here. You told me to put this on, right?
I didn't realize that this is what we were getting into.
So I am not a fist fucker. I'm going to take that off. Did you just put that on your left?
I do not want to drink or wear piss.
But you will piss on somebody. I see you switched it.
Well, I'm not going to drink or wear piss. I'd rather be the pisser.
So it happened again. Trump contradicted Benjamin Netanyahu in public, and this time it was over the idea that Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel are starving the people in Gaza. And let's listen to what Trump has to say.
Can I ask about the First Lady? You mentioned a couple of weeks ago her role in talking to you about the war in Ukraine, and perhaps a big part of your evolution in thinking. Have you discussed the crisis in Gaza and the terrifying...
I have, and she thinks it's terrible, and she sees the same pictures that you see, and that we all see, and I think everybody, unless they're pretty cold-hearted or worse than that,
unless they're cold-hearted or worse than that, they're Congressman Randy Fine. Okay, here we go.
Or worse than that, nuts. There's nothing you can say other than it's terrible when you see the kids. And those are kids, whether they talk starvation or not, those are kids that are starving. They are starving. And you see the mothers, they love them so much, and there's just nothing they seem to be able to do. They got to get them food, and we're going to get them food.
So the irony here is that Trump could single-handedly get them food. He doesn't have to. He doesn't have to think of a plan. He doesn't have to figure out a diplomatic solution. He could just do it. And so, but it's good to see him at least contradict Benjamin Netanyahu and all the Zionist a-holes who are saying that there is no starvation going on, or the starvation is that's because Hamas is doing it to themselves. And Fox News, we showed you that story yesterday, how they pretended it was the UN's fault that the people are starving in Gaza, and it's not. Oh God, Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israelis, they want to feed those people. It's the UN, and so it looks like Trump found and deactivated the devices that are hidden in our major cities. Now what? That was the last bargaining chip. So you know what I'm talking about, right? Sounds like that the Zionists planting. Anyway, not that they do false flags. I'm not saying that the Mossad and the Zionists would do false flags.
Yeah, and they certainly don't starve people. I'm surprised Trump is so virulently anti-Semitic right now.
I mean, what we see here, so Glenn Greenwald says, Trump again publicly contradicts Netanyahu and many of Israel's most devoted U.S. supporters by saying many kids in Gaza are starving, and that only those who are pretty cold-hearted or worse than that, nuts, would deny this and be indifferent. So that's a man who has come to terms with a Russian hooker peeing on him, and it just simply doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. I still don't understand why it ever mattered. So what? They didn't even pee on him. They peed on the bed Obama slept in. I don't know if that's like a magic spell.
So you know what, though? Here's the weird thing. We're still paying for the starving of these Gazan children.
Yeah.
With our tax money. So that sounds even more nuts, actually, when you think of it that way.
When you think of it, he's acknowledging how horrible it is, but won't stop doing it. It reminds me of Steve-O on Jackass stapling his balls to his own leg. You did this. You did this. So so underneath this post by Glenn Greenwald, I saw a lot of people. So here's Matt Stoller. So friend of the show, Matt Stoller, he said, honestly, who cares? Trump is in charge. He can stop it at any point. That he's not stopping it shows he's just playing us all for chumps. That's what so that's a version of what I just said. But Glenn comes back and says, admitting that there's starvation throughout Gaza is important, given how many people are clinging to denialism.
It'd be like saying, who cares if a very prominent person during World War II said there's a Nazi policy of extermination? But yes, Trump, like Biden, is culpable. So,
Right.
there is a little more nuance here. I agree with Matt. I agree with Glenn.
Well, we should technically use this as a defense when we get banned for saying the crimes Israel did. You know, they want to ban you from things.
Yeah.
So the president acknowledged this is real and not a lie.
So isn't that
hopefully
anti-Semitic?
that should, what?
Isn't that now anti-Semitic according to Trump? If you criticize
Yeah, him contradicting that hopefully will lead to that not going through, that insane law that Israel's passing.
Yeah. So this guy Ralph, he says, not that it matters, but I reject the notion that Trump has been worse for Gaza than Biden. Biden never got a ceasefire and never talked with Hamas. It's very disappointing to see Trump not challenge Israel. I hope Witkoff bullies them into another ceasefire soon. Glenn says, I don't think Trump has been worse for Gaza than Biden. It's impossible to have been worse than Biden. Neither he nor anyone acting in his name imposed a single limit. Biden declared red lines Netanyahu ignored, and Biden kept arming and funding it. They're equally guilty. So I would agree with Glenn on this. And then here's Matt Stoller comes in. His last comment is, can't we just agree that both have been worse on this monstrous generational crime? Trump is worse than Biden, and Biden is worse than Trump. Yay! Look, everyone agrees. Isn't that fantastic?
You know, that and a nickel will get you what? I don't even know what.
So Ralph
Inflation?
comes back. He says, fair, LOL, but this guy T. Parsi has made this point many times. On all issues Israel, Trump has been more willing than Biden to say no to them. However, he hasn't been able to sustain that no on Iran, Gaza, etc. Doesn't excuse him backing this carnage, of course. Matt Stoller, no, Trump hasn't been more willing than Biden to say no. Neither of them say no.
Biden wasn't there.
Biden wasn't even there. You're right.
His auto pen? Did his auto pen say no at some point that I'm not aware of?
So here is Coach Taylor's hair. He says, why are they starving, Glenn? Who's preventing the food aid trucks from reaching them? Non-Hamas people.
Israel, moron.
So he's trying to say, yeah. Glenn says, aside from the fact that you people go from there is no starvation, it's all fake, to yes, there's starvation, but it's all the fault of Hamas. Whenever you have to follow Trump's word, Israel has repeatedly and openly said it will block food from entering Gaza, and he links all these newspaper headlines where they said so.
Yeah.
Here's no electricity, food, or water or gas. Israel orders complete Gaza siege. Smotrich says not even a grain of wheat will enter Gaza. So I love that Glenn caught that. He goes, you guys go from there is no starving to, of course they're starving, but it's Hamas's fault. So, and by the way, if you're starving the people in Gaza, you're also starving your hostages. I mean, keep that.
Yeah, imbecile Coach Taylor's hair.
If that's Hamas's fault, then it's your fault for funding Hamas since 2005. Why are Israelis' bank accounts frozen? That's my question.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's anti-Semitic to say why with that one.
I think people are asking the important question, what is even stupider than just regular Coach Taylor? And now the question has been answered.
Yeah.
Coach Taylor's hair.
Yeah. It's attached to his brain. It says what it sounds like.
And if you want to hear my jokes about Israel and Gaza, you can come this Sunday to Oxnard, California, and see me at the Levity Live Comedy Club, or maybe in Rutherford, New Jersey, or Manhattan at the Village Underground, plus Calgary, Edmonton, and Vancouver. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. These are tough times for tough jokes, folks.
I do better when it's going tough. I always do better. You know,
tough jokes for tough times, and you'll hear them at my stand-up comedy. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Over to Steph.
Okay. I think, this is from Morty, I need to smoke a bowl and forget about all this bullshit. Wait, I already smoked a bowl. Ooh, okay. Thank you for that one, Morty. I've emailed thank you multiple times, Bunny, from different addresses. Oh, crazy girl. Got through to support. Thank you. Apparently they forwarded you my last email. All right. I'll be checking and contacting you. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I have a good email for you. Thank you, Bunny. With tariffs, exports from EU to the US will be more costly, meaning that EU factories will also outsource to China. Hurt the EU worker, cause chaos and consequently justify government overreach in the EU. Julius Patty. FYI, Israel captured Hawker Hunter planes from Jordan during the Six-Day War and didn't officially add them to their air force, but kept them for more covert operations, apparently. Whoa! CC Calloway, thank you for that. Much appreciated. Wait till you find out what the euro dollar is, and it ain't the euro. Dobther.
Okay.
Back to Jimmy.
Palestine